I'm sitting back and I'm just studying my niece. She's very interesting. What is she doing? See, they are very smart. But something just give me the vibes like this, like a gorilla or something, like a Japan sea or a panda. Or maybe a cat. But she heard me talking about her. I don't know what type of vibe she give me, but she give me like a Japan sea. Uh, hmm. Kelani. What you doing? I don't know, bro. It's very entertaining. It's like watching an infant or a baby or a kid. It's like watching a zoo animal because you never know what to expect. She might fall, do something funny. Like kids know what they be doing, so it's like it's very entertaining to watch kids be in their own world. Because what are they really doing? What's really going through their mind? That 5 one. I'm letting her have her freedom because she for sure know what she doing. One thing about kids, quote unquote infants, they are not kids, they are not infants, they are not babies. They are reincarnated souls. So this soul could have had a life in a animal's body. So when she do things like this that allow her to be a free spirit, she remembers more. So what is she doing right now? She's remembering a lot. She's remembering a lot. Like she would do things like eat the flowers or try to eat the leaves and stuff. That's how I know this is a reincarnated soul. This reincarnated soul had a experience in a animal's body. I don't know what animal it is, but it's giving off chimpanzee, it's giving off baby gorilla, it's giving off baby gorilla, because the confirmation in the back, baby gorilla or chimpanzee, one of those two. Kaylani, she's definitely strong into telepathy. Let me just make sure she's not eating anything. What you eating? She looking at her hands. And this allows the soul to collect information and data. So what she is doing is collecting information and data. It's like an aha moment for her. She's upgrading her senses. She is very sensitive to energy. She's very aware of what I'm saying. She's telepath communicating with the bird. This is definitely an ancient soul. See? See, like small things like this, you gotta watch out for your kid. Because your kid is not just saying blah 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 goo goo gaga. No, your kid is actually using telepathy. Your kid is actually very aware they are not a child. They're very aware they are not an infant. This soul is very aware they are not an infant. This is fun to me. Like, me just watching her be a free spirit, it allows me to collect the information she is giving me. Like, our souls is connected on a cosmic level, so whatever she is experiencing right now, she is sharing it with me by just being present in the moment with me. Like, we sharing each other energy, right? Like, we sharing each other energy. Like, we in each other energy, and we just being free, and it allows us to remember more of what's going on in the present moment, because it's a lot going on in the present moment. You got to think about it. You got all these flies around. You got all these plants around. You got the sun out. You got the bees, the birds. So you got to really think about it. It's not just plants. It's not just birds. It's actually conscious. Look at her. She gonna try to eat it. Watch. Oh, you ain't gonna eat it this time? This guy allow your quote-unquote kid, the children, to get dirty. Clothes, it can be replaced. Socks, it can be replaced. All these things can be replaced. But that child's soul can never be replaced. And she is currently 1 year old. She just turned 1. And she know how to talk. She know how to say yeah, no. She know how to walk. She know how to do all these things. She is definitely smarter than the average 1-year-old. And after this, she's definitely going to be way much smarter. A kid, a child that is always outside is the smartest kid / child / adult on this planet. Outside is the spiritual realm. This is the spiritual realm. We are contacting so many angelic beings in this present moment. Allowing them to think for themselves, it raises their consciousness. So if she try to eat dirt, I can't say don't eat dirt, because it's like I'm stopping her from raising her consciousness. When she lick the dirt, she gonna understand like, dirt tastes nasty. You feel me? Dirt is, I don't eat dirt as a human being. You feel me? Cause you gotta think about it. Some animals eat dirt. Some insects eat dirt. Some, you know what I'm saying? Like, these things eat dirt. Or they play in dirt. But as a human being, we don't eat dirt. Some human beings might eat dirt, but we don't eat dirt. We not supposed to eat dirt. And she's understanding that as she play with dirt. We're not supposed to eat it. We're supposed to just plant a garden with dirt. One thing about quote unquote infants, children, babies, like I said, they are not children, they're not babies, they're not infants, but they are very sensitive. And when they are in the outside world, when they are in the spiritual world, they are finding peace and balance. And it's not like finding peace and balance, it's about letting it find you. And what they do is they let peace find them. They let balance find them by just doing random things like this. So when she do things like this, she is letting her peace find her. She is letting balance find her. She is letting love find her. She not letting these things define her. She letting these things find her. She's unlocking certain memory in the brain. The more she smells, the more she tastes, the more she's remembering. She's remembering a lot right now. Hey, you can't eat that. Wicked Lonnie. Look at that dog right there. But your imagination doesn't know what's real. Your imagination only knows what you tell it. And you got to really pay attention to your imagination, because your imagination creates reality. And when you tell your imagination something, it appears in your mind. It appears in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the tool to success. And your subconscious mind is your imagination. Your imagination doesn't know what's real or fake. So this whole world can be fake, but you don't know because your imagination doesn't know what's real or fake. And you got to study your imagination. You got to study yourself. You got to study everything that triggers the brain, the body, the soul, the spirit. You got to study these things, because these things are actually who you are. You are the mind. You are the spirit. You are the soul. You do not have no body. And when you imagine yourself being a dog, you will appear as a dog. So that should tell you a lot about your imagination. Your imagination creates realities you already exist in. You exist in these realities as a dog. You exist in these realities as a infant, as a, I'm saying, like a species, you feel me? You exist in these realities. Feel me? So look, you are a multi-dimensional being. And what makes you a multi-dimensional being is your imagination to create these fairy tales. This is a fairy tale world. This world is so backwards. This is not a baby. This is not an infant. This is not a child. This is an ancient soul in a human's body. This ancient soul reincarnated. You reincarnate with your imagination. When you imagine yourself being an infant, you will end up being an infant. When you imagine yourself being a elephant, you will end up being an elephant. When you imagine yourself being a god, a goddess, or just a angelic presence of a being, you will be these things because you are these things. You got to picture it first. When you can picture something, you are there. So you got to really understand your imagination doesn't know what's real or fake. Your imagination only know what you tell it. So if you tell your imagination, I am an infant, you will go into infant mode and you will receive the downloads from that infant that is communicating to you. This infant is communicating to me. This infant is telling me what it is and what it ain't. This infant is telling me my imagination got me here. My imagination incarnated into this body. Because without the imagination, you are not real. You feel me? Everyone has an imagination. Animal has an imagination. When you see a baby panda just in his own world, clowning, having a good time, making everyone laugh, that infant is aware. I say that infant, but that panda is aware that everyone is watching them. That panda is aware that everyone is here for the panda. Everyone is here for the baby panda, so the baby panda is going to put on the show. So put on the show when it comes to your imagination, because your imagination doesn't know what's real or fake. When you put a show in your head, you will end up at a show. When you put a house in your head, you will end up manifesting the house. You will end up manifesting these things because your imagination is literally the key to magic. When you are able to understand that your imagination is the key to magic, you will pay attention to what you are imagining, because it's magic for a reason. It's a magic trick to expand your consciousness. So when you imagine something, you are expanding your consciousness every time. Every time you imagine something, you are expanding your consciousness. You are going into details. Every time I imagine something, I am going into details. I am going to depth. I am going to the deepest form of self. And the deepest form of self is creation. So understand, everything is creation. God is creation. God is energy. God is everything. God is in every single thing on this planet. God is everything in this world. God is literally everything, and everything is consciousness. And everything is imagination, because everything is imagining being what it is. You imagine being a human being. You imagine being a plant. You imagine being the sun. You imagine being animals. You imagine these things at one point in time in your life. If you was a kid, you imagine yourself being a dinosaur, a lion. You imagine yourself being something that was out of this world. And your imagination makes you out of this world. It makes you an alien. So you gotta understand, when you speak like this, you are literally speaking an alien, because it's your imagination expanding its consciousness through you. You feel me? So understand, everything is alive. Everything is moving. Everything is constantly revealing itself to you naturally. And you don't have to force anything. And something slipped out my head, but you are the panda that is putting on the show. And when you put on a show, you got to do it from the heart of the imagination. When you do it from the heart of the imagination, you will really manifest magic through other people by unlocking their imagination, because magic is imagination. You feel me?